What's up guys, Garrett here, and today is part 7 of my series of how I mortgaged my house to buy stocks. If you're wondering why I would do such a thing like that, watch this video right here. It's the last video that I made. It gives a pretty good explanation of it. Within the last month, there was not a lot of activity that I got done. I did buy 2 different stocks though. One was GLPB, and if you remember right, the last video, I sold GLPA because it was just getting really inflated. I sold it at 27 something and the par value was 25. So GLPB, which I just picked up, I bought at 25.87, so quite a bit different than the GLPA, and their yield between the A and the B is very similar. So it's basically just trading the one that was overpriced for the one that is better priced. The other stock was HROWL, and it's one that just came out. It's a baby bond, and I was able to get it under par value. I got it at $24.90, and that's one of those tips that I could give you is if you find some of these baby bonds right at the issuance date, you can get them a lot of times under par value. Today it's trading over 26, so it's amazing how quickly it can go from par and then beyond that. But I was able to get it under par, and it has an 8.5% dividend, so it's right in line with everything that I'm trying to do. No stocks were sold or called this last month, so that's good. Here are all of the stocks that I have so far. Of course, like I said before, it's a combination of common stock, preferred stock, as well as baby bonds. And so far on the stock side of things, I have $108,710 invested in that, and that's given me a yield of $8,268.13, and that's a yield annually. On top of that, I also have some investments in a company called GroundFloor. I've talked about it in several other videos. I'm going to get a little bit more in depth in this one. GroundFloor is a crowdsourced investing platform where folks like you and me can invest in other people's real estate transactions. So a lot of times it's just going to be a person that wants to fix and flip a property, or they're just needing to buy the property and get it fixed up. So this is a short-term loan for them. Once the whole thing is fixed up, then they refinance and maybe they keep it as a rental or something like that. But there are several aspects of GroundFloor that I really like. Number one, you have different ways that you can invest in the platform. You can invest in individual deals, and I've done a lot of that. If you look through the individual investments on GroundFloor's website, the ones that you can go and it's on a specific property, GroundFloor does a pretty good job of vetting those folks, as well as making sure that, of course, there is an appraisal on it, making sure these folks have experience, and of course they grade the different projects based on a whole lot of different factors, and I like that. You can get A's, B's, C's, and D's, and of course, you know, an A is probably going to be like a 6% return, where a D could be anywhere from a 10, 12, 13% return. Obviously, risk is different between all of those. For this pot of money, I am not investing in any individual deals. I'm actually just investing in the other thing that I like, which is GroundFloor notes. GroundFloor uses these notes to initially invest in different people's projects. This is right up front so that those people can get these projects up and going, they can get them bought. And then they take those individual projects and then offer them on the site where a person can come and just individually invest in those individual deals. Now, those notes are always going to be a lower yield than what those individual deals are, but I'm okay with that, especially with this pot of money. The way that I'm investing it, I need some level of safety, and so I'm basically investing in these notes, which is through GroundFloor itself. They are the ones that are actually securing this note, and they are the ones that are actually paying it back. And so, as I've mentioned before, I have a 12-month note at 8%, and of course that yields me $1,200 per year or $100 per month. Well, just recently they came out with another note that was a 6% yield, but it was only a 3-month term. So, of course, I've got quite a bit of this money that's uninvested, but I don't want to tie it up for a long period of time. So this 3-month deal is perfect for me. So I went ahead and invested in that note. The caveat with it is it's $25,000 minimum. So I invested the $25,000 into it. I'm going to get a 6% yield over that 3-month period. So this note gives me an extra $125 of dividend per month during that time period. So if you add both of those notes up with the stocks that I'm already invested in, I have a total of $148,710.90 invested so far, which represents 75.3% of the investable money. That gives me an annual dividend of $10,968.13. Of course, my monthly mortgage is $856.75, but my monthly dividends for the very first time is exceeding what my mortgage payment is. So it's at $914.01, which represents 106.7% of my needs. Now, with that said, again, that 3-month note is only a 3-month note. In 3 months, I'm going to have to figure out what to do with it at that point. And on top of that, that 12-month note through GroundFloor is going to mature on June 6th. And so it's a week away from maturity. So again, I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that $15,000 as well. But for the intents and purposes of this video, for the very first time, my dividends are making my mortgage payment. And if you're wondering why I haven't bought more stocks or bonds or any of that kind of stuff, as I've mentioned before, things are just a bit too hot right now. Unless I can find something that's just a decent deal, I'm not doing it. It doesn't make sense for me just to plop money into the market just because I have the money to plop into the market. I need to be smart about this whole thing. And if we have a correction, it could take things way down real fast. And I'd rather buy at the dip. So I want to have some money sitting back. And of course, again, with the note investing, that's part of its purpose, as well as the bond investing. Those bonds have maturity dates. So most of them are fairly short term, meaning that in 3 months, a year, 3 years, I'm going to get that money back and I'm going to reinvest it. But regardless, I'm finally there. I'm excited about this, and this is just all kind of neat. It's just, you don't see people doing stuff like this very often. And yeah, it's a gamble, but it's fun too. If you're interested in GroundFloor, there's a link down in my description. If you click on that link and you get $100 invested, they're going to give you $10 just for free. Make sure to hit that like button down below as well as subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.